Okay, so we're going to go through and look at this example 4. Remember, we were talking about the relative extrema. I cannot get it to show me writing as well as on the calculator at the same time. When I recorded this for 30 minutes earlier today, I thought it was, but it wasn't. So bear with me. So I won't be able to write, but I can go through and at least let you see the calculator here. So our example was negative 2x to the third plus 2x. I've already got it typed into y equals. I'm going to go ahead and press graph. And if I look, remember the zeros we talked about. We said it was 0, -1, and +1. And you can see them. It's kind of small in here, but you can see it. We want to talk about the extrema, so that relative minimum and relative maximum. And if I look, I can kind of tell, all right, I got a minimum over here, and I got a maximum over here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so I can see it. So I'm just going to go change my window. It looks like if I'm at -1 and +1 here, it looks like if I go to about -3 all the way around, I'll have a better view, plus I'll still be able to have a little bit of space on my screen. So I'm going to go to window, and I'm going to change it to -3, +3, keep the scale at 1, and then -3 to +3, and keep the scale at 1. And then I'm going to go graph it again. That way, I've kind of chosen how it's zoomed instead of just pressing zoom in, which kind of sometimes doesn't get it exactly where I want it. All right, so I think we got a better view now. We can again see our -1, our 0, and our 1 for our zeros. And then right here, we can see this would be a relative minimum. And then up here would be a relative maximum. So if I want to find that relative minimum and maximum, remember like yesterday, how we found the zeros, we went to second trace. Well, I'm not looking for a 0, although I could use that to find any zeros if it told me to find the zeros using my graphing calculator. I want to find the minimum and maximum, so I'm going to use the minimum and maximum button. So I'm going to start with the minimum. I'm going to go to number 3. It takes me back to my graph. Well, remember I said the minimum, the relative minimum was over here. So here's kind of my point. And I'm going to go on the left of it and the right of it. So I'm going to arrow around. So now I'm somewhere on the left. Press enter. And now I'm going to go to the right of it. Now I'm somewhere on the right of it. Press enter. Remember, we talked about the arrows need to be pointing at each other. The closer you can get to the left and right of that particular point, the more accurate it would be. So you can see here the ordered pair for the minimum and maximum. I would probably round, or for the minimum, sorry. I would probably round to 3 decimal places. If they specifically ask just what is the relative minimum or the relative maximum, remember we're talking about the y value. So I'm going to say that the relative minimum is -0.7, that 8 would round that 9 up, so 0.770 if I rounded it. And I can't write and be right here at the same time, but I would round that to 3 decimal places. If they wanted to know the ordered pair, I would do the x comma the y to 3 decimal places. All right, so now let's look at the maximum. So I'm going to go second calc again. This time I want to look at the relative maximum, so I'll go to number 4. And if I look, this over here would be our relative maximum. So I want to get to the left of it and then to the right of it. So I'm going to arrow over until I get pretty close to that point, just on the left of it. So I'm going to press enter right there. And then I'm going to arrow over just a little bit more until I get just to the right of that point. Okay, you can see it's kind of pointing towards the middle where my point would be. And then I can see, all right, this would be the relative maximum, which is at about 0.7. Again, it rounds up, so 0.770. If I wanted the ordered pair, then I would do the x comma y, both the 3 decimal places. All right, so I would just write those for the relative extrema, and I would specify which one is the minimum and which one is the maximum.